Hi, it's John. Now, I've been thinking about how many people there are in the world, and obviously there's more people in the world all the time, and how those people in the world should behave. Now, if people live very frugally, say like in the olden days where you had possibly 10 to a house and they might share a room, get about 4 in the same bed and that sort of thing, you could get a lot of people in the world. And if they didn't need transport, like to go on holidays, that sort of thing. But what would be the point? What is the idea of the population of the world? In the olden days, at some, I don't know, in some stage it might have been the idea. It just depends on a person's philosophy. It's a very religious question. The church would say that the idea of a person is to bring glory to God. So the more people you've got sort of worshipping God and doing God stuff, the better the world will be. And I suppose the reasoning behind that is that heaven needed populating. So you got as many people's souls refined and built up on earth through all the suffering, etc. So you got more souls in heaven, and that was going on better. I don't think many people would be thinking quite like that anymore. But the problem is that carbon footprint, these sorts of issues now. So you've got the population, and like this whole number that's in China, there's 1 billion in China, is 1,000 million in China, and they're just sort of westernizing. And if they all need a car, or 2 cars or 3 cars per family, and foreign holidays, that'll be quite a big load on the resources of the earth. And is that the way we should go on? I think a lot of the ways that we do go on are basically just because of advertising. We see other people going on lots of foreign holidays and having lots of cars, and having cars with all the latest features and reasonably large engines, and we think that we have to have that. No one's quite happy with a Citroen 2CV anymore. You don't see many of those sort of cars on the road anymore. So to summarise, the population of the world is getting bigger, and each member of that population needs more resources. But what's the point of it all? I mean, the point now seems to be to get more and more pleasure, get the maximum amount of pleasure out of life. So let's say me, I'm going to be getting a new television system, faster broadband. So this is hedonism, the worship of pleasure. But anybody with a brain knows that that sort of pleasure doesn't really fulfill. So I would say that what does fulfill is being creative. I've done this in another video, haven't I? About the humanness is about creativity, and we find meaning in creativity. And I suppose the only way that the human race can be creative if it continues. So we've got to take pragmatic measures to make sure that it does continue, and pleasure can be continued to be obtained. I mean, one of the things that brought this thought on is that we are a very small number of the possible people that could be. The chances of us becoming humans, it was very, very, very remote, but we have. So one can think that we have a responsibility to enjoy life, because all those other possible humans that got flushed down the toilet, they haven't had the chance to enjoy life. So that's another reason for enjoying life, and I suppose it's another reason for making sure that other people enjoy life. And I suppose another way of looking at it is rather than looking at the individual, look at the human race as a whole. And that's what we have to think about, like a bee's nest, a hive of bees, that they're not defined by the individual bees, but by the whole lot. And that makes a lot more sense of things. And a lot of animals are like that. They will actually kill off the weaker ones. But we're very tied up with individualism. Anyway, let me know what you think. So in conclusion, creativity and fulfilledness are the best thing for the individual, and possibly the only way to get really fulfilled is if one contributes something to the whole of society, the whole of the bee's nest. Right, bye for now.